What's up, YouTube? This is going to be our guide on how to use Charizard and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If you want a Pokemon to be done, leave below in the comment section of the video. And if you enjoy these videos helping you out, drop a like on the video and let's get started. So Charizard can be quite a decent Pokemon, especially and physically. So first off, you'll probably see it as a special user the most, and when I mean that, I mean as a sun sweeper or used under the sun. So obviously, this is probably more focused towards on a sun team, whether you're playing singles, doubles, or whatever format. So you've got some Pokemon like Torkoal, but I'll mention some more teammates and counters and stuff as we get through the video. But just bear in mind, we're using solar power. So you want to be using this as sun to get most of its potential. So we got a Life Orb and solar power, which means it's not going to really hang around on the field for, too long. You could drop the Life Orb as well if you want to give it like heavy duty boots. So that's another option there too. But let's have a look at its moves. So we got Fire Blast, obviously. We got Solar Beam, which is great there, fitting water types, rock type Pokemon. Activates right away in the sun. We got Air Slash there as also a flying move. Now, it does have a stronger flying move, which is Hurricane, but obviously Hurricane with its accuracy in the sun is a no-go. And I've also got Focus Blast as well. So Focus Blast is a powerful fighting type move there, which can just be good for like, general coverage and stuff like that. And, just that higher base power is really good. I've got Terra Fire as this, because Terra Fire Fire Blast is going to hit like really, really powerful, especially with the solar power. I'm giving it that, extra 1.5 boost is crazy. I mean, if you want to put Life Orb on top of it too, that's going to be doing like mountains of damage. But Charizard won't really be lasting for too long. You might get a couple of turns out of it, and you'll probably be gone there if you're not one-shotting everything. Like, as I said, another option you can run is Heavy Duty Boots. That's really great on Charizard with its big Stealth Rock weakness. And you do lose out in a little bit of power there, but yeah, it's just sort of protects it from any of those Stealth Rocks, which are very, very nasty for Charizard. I've given this one Timid Nature, which most of the time, or you run a Speedy Nature on Charizard. It's got 100 base speed, so it's quite good there. And I've got Max Special Attack, so that's not a bad special attack as well. And yeah, it's a good sun sweeper. I wouldn't say it's going to be one-shotting everything, but it's definitely like a good mid to late game sweeper for sure there for Charizard. Okay, let's check out the next set here, which is kind of similar to it. I've got this as you could run this as Choice Specs. I've had Heavy Duty Boots, and even Choice Scarf could work with a set like this. So this is a little bit similar to the first one, and exactly similar in the EVs, but the moves are a little bit. So just another variant of Charizard, the Sun Charizard with Solar Power. So this time we've got Overheat on there. Overheat's got a lot more base power, or a little bit more base power there, so you can hit a lot harder. You have the cost of 90% accuracy though, and you might have to swap it out. You're probably able to get 2 Choice Specs Overheats off in the sun. It's the second one's still going to do a lot of damage, which is nice, and you've got Solar Power. After that, you're probably going to find yourself needing to swap. I've got Focus Blast just for a higher base power move there, coverage, and we've got Air Slash, and I've also got Dragon Pulse. So Dragon Pulse isn't bad because you can hit like Dragon type Pokemon at least or something, because they do tend to resist a few of Charizard's attacks. So it is handy to actually have that. With the EVs, I said we got that exactly the same. Some other options you could run if you're not really interested in running Air Slash on there, which I could see why people would. You got some more gimmicky things like Ancient Power. As said with Hurricane, there's no point. Now for doubles, let's have a look at doubles right now. So doubles, we'll have a look at Heat Wave. That's quite good for doubles. So we'll turn this into a double set now. Focus Blast is okay, I guess. That's still all right. We'll have a look at some more. So Heat Wave is definitely nice for doubles, because that way you can hit, like, say you partner up with a Torkoal with Drought. That's going to be really, really nice. And you can put, those powerful Heat Waves are going to do, some good damage there for sure. But yeah, you could give it, you could also give it Solar Beam if you wanted to for coverage and stuff like that. But, you have a way to hit Rock-type Pokemon with, Focus Blast, but Solar Beam does give you a little bit more coverage with the water types and things like that too. So yeah, if I was just doing doubles, I'd mix it up a little bit with Heat Wave. That's about it. If you really want to have Fire Blast there, if you want to just individually focus a Pokemon, you could do that. But Heat Wave is kind of nice there too. Some people even run like, this is for singles by the way. Some people run over and then they put on like they'll put on Flamethrower or Fire Blast on the set as well. So you've got like a choice whether to go for one or the other instead of locking yourself into Overheat. Overheat's just there if you want just like a more powerful hit, because when you compare it to like Fire Blast, it's only 20 more base power. It does do there's a big difference there in power, but most of the time I feel like Fire Blast is better because Overheat eventually causes you to swap. But each their own, whatever you want to run on your special Charizard set. Now, Charizard does get quite a few nice physical moves. So first, probably the best physical move set you can run on it is Belly Drum. Now, Belly Zard has been a thing since like Gen 4 or early and stuff like that. So let's have a look at it. I've got like 2 variants to this set. This one is probably a little bit more, I'd say a little bit more common, a little bit less gimmicky. So let's have a look. So we've got Belly Drum. That's going to maximize our attack there. We're going to get rid of half our health. And then we've got Citrus Berry to activate. And then we could go for Acrobatics. So Acrobatics is going to be really powerful because it's going to double on base power once your item is consumed. So you've got a nice 110 base power move there. Now, with its speed, I've given it Jolly, but it can still get outsped. So I thought Flame Charge would probably be the best move here. I know that's only 50 base power, but after a Belly Drum, it's going to be hitting really, really hard. And it's also going to be increasing the speed too. Now, I've given this Terra Blast. So there are a couple of moves that can actually slot in here. Now, when you look at Charizard and its counters, right? So I've given this one Terra Blast Ground. Now, there are a few Terra options you can give this. So Ground is kind of nice to hit like electric types and rock types. And then you've got something else like Grass that can hit rock types, and that can also hit water types too. So they kind of hit other sort of types there and things like that. But mainly we'll be using these moves here and stuff like that. Another option you could go for as well is also Terra Electric. That's another option, a little bit of a fun option. I was thinking more like, say like Gyarados, or that would be like Gyarados likes to come into Charizard. So, you could definitely have Terra Blast Electric. That would really surprise some, especially Gyarados, being 4 times. That would be, quite a surprise there. Then you sort of like, you're a little bit vulnerable to like ground type Pokemon. You can still go for Acrobatics, but there are some pretty bulky defensive Pokemon out there, so they might live or something like that. But yeah, there are a few options. I'd say that probably Grass and Ground, Terra are probably the best options there for sure. As for the ability, I've given up Blaze because Solar Power's not really going to come into play because we're using a physical set there. Now, another variant of this, it's very, very it's obviously it's very easily countered, but this is a substitute variant. Now, instead of giving it Flame Charge, we give it a more powerful Fire-type move. Now, Charizard does get quite a few Fire-type moves. We're going to go ahead and give this one Fire Punch. And we're going to also change this up and give it Scarlet Berry. So, this is sort of a throwback to the old Charizard set. So, this has got same EVs. I'm not going to change anything around, but we're using Sub, and then we're using Belly Drum. So, find a option where you can go for Sub. Say, for example, you've got your Charizard there. Okay, I'm swapping in against a Steel-type Pokemon. I'm swapping in against a Grass-type Pokemon. You're going to get a Substitute. Or the opponent's going to go for a status move. Like, okay, they're probably going to go for, like, Thunder Wave or something like that. Well, I'll go for a Substitute. So you get the Sub up, right? You've got the Sub protection, and then you go for Belly Drum. So Belly Drum is going to give you a +6 in attack, and then Substitute is going to obviously protect you, and then Scarlet Berry is going to activate, giving you a +1 in speed, which is going to be quite handy. And then you can just fire off, Fire Punches and Acrobatics, and you've got a protection of Sub too. So you could even like resisted Pokemon are probably going to get 2-shotted with a +6 like stab move there. As for Terra type, I'd probably just go ahead and give it. I mean, Acrobatics is quite good as far as fire, but you could just give it like Terra Fire or Terra Flying. I'd give it one of the 2 options there for sure. So that's another variant way of doing it. It's a little bit more gimmicky because you're relying on Sub and you only got 2 attacking moves, but it can still work. I've done it myself. I believe I've done this Charizard sweep on my channel there if you want to, go ahead and check it out. All right, so that's a physical variant for Belly Drum. Now, Charizard actually gets Dragon Dance, and Sword Dance, which is kind of interesting. So let's have a look at that. So, for example, if we're running a Dragon Dance set, I'd be going with Adamant because we're already going to be boosting our speed anyway. Now, if I was using Sword Dance, I'd be going Jolly. So that's like your differences there. Because with Dragon Dance, you can afford to go Adamant because you can already boost your speed. With Jolly, you can't boost your speed. So, with Sword Dance, you can't boost your speed. So go Jolly there, right? So, same sort of moveset then. So we've got Fire Punch, we've got Terra Blast, Grass, and we've got Aerial Ace as well. I've given this one heavy duty boots because it's just really good for stealth rocks and stuff like that. It's probably one of the best items there for Charizard, and we're using Blaze here because we've got a physical set. So you may even be put it into Blaze range, and that'll make Fire Punch like really, really powerful and stuff like that. It isn't like super duper powerful. It'd probably need like a couple of Dragon Dance up to do some great damage, but it could be not a bad mid to late game sweeper if you want to mix things up than the Belly Drum set. Or with the Sword Dance, you've got the Jolly nature, and then after one Sword Dance, it's going to do like it's going to do a good amount of damage for sure. Charizard's attack is kind of average, so you're probably going to do some good damage after Sword Dance, but it's not going to be one-shotting like really bulky Pokemon. You're probably going to need to hitting them with a super effective move or like twice, and Charizard it's not really the bulkiest Pokemon in the world there. Its special defense isn't all that bad, but yeah, there are a lot of moves that it is weak to, so bear that one in mind when you start Dragon Dancing or Sword Dancing or trying to set up. Then that's with like any of those setup sets. All right, let's go into some meme territory here. Let's do this one first. So this is Rainy Zard. So this is you could go with the Pelipper as a partner here, right? So Pelipper with Charizard, only on people on my channel, right? So I want to say this straight up. The abilities don't really matter too much in the set because we're not really making use of Sunny Day, and it's a special set, right? So we don't need like Blaze at all, and I've got no Fire Time move. So I just want to point that one out. If things do go south and the opponent does set up a Sunny Day, well, that's all right. You can still get a boost of special attack, right? So I was really thinking I want to make use of Charizard's Hurricane. The best way to make use of Hurricane is in the rain, so it never misses in the rain, and it's a powerful move on Charizard. 110 base power, 30% chance to confuse as well. You can't miss in the rain. I've given this one Terra Blast Water, so you've got it in your team, right? And then you could like Terra into water. Say a Rock type comes in, Terra Blast Water, and wreck the Rock type Pokemon and Ground types and opposing Fire types and stuff like that. I thought that'd be really cool. I've given it Focus Blast purely because of its base power. And I've also given it Dragon Pulse as well. I've popped on Mystic Water so it can get some powerful Mystic powers and power up that Terra Blast a little bit. So a bit of a mean fun set. Rainy Zard, and I wish Charizard got Weather Ball. That'd be pretty cool. The EVs I've given it are Modest and Max Speed. So you could either go Modest or Timid or whatever you want to do there. Either one of those are going to be working for sure. Now, let's have a look at this next set here. This is a bulky troll meme. Then I'm going to go over some teammates, some counters, and some final thoughts and stuff on Charizard. So, now, in the past, I used to have a really cool Charizard set. It actually used to use Roost. Now, a lot of Pokemon have lost Roost due to Scarlet and Violet and just not having it, right? So I've sort of had to adopt this set into something else. So I used to have like Fire Spin and Roost and Will-O-Wisp and Fly. It was a good stalling set, but I don't have that anymore, so I've sort of adapted this. So we've got a bulky Charizard, a max health and max special defense, trying to make real use of its special defense as is that. We've got Calm Nature, so it's quite bulky on the special side, and Leftovers as the item. Now, you could get that heavy duty boots if you wanted to, if you're scared of Stealth Rock, for sure. I've got Fire Spin as a trapping move and doing damage. We've got Rest and Sleep Talk, and we've got Ancient Power to boost up its stats. So a bulky Pokemon. Another variant you could use here, I like to use this back in the day when I had Roost, was Will-O-Wisp. So you've burned the opponent, so you've halved their attack, you've trapped them in. So you're doing burn damage with Will-O-Wisp, and you're doing Fire Spin damage at the same time. Matter of fact, I'm going to fix this set right now. I think I've got something better. So let's go Chesto Berry. Perfect. So we got Fire Spin and Will-O-Wisp. I like this. And we could pop on Ancient Power for even more bulk too. Yeah. Okay, I like this set much better. So now we've got Resto Chesto Charizard. We got Fire Speed to trap the opponent, do damage. Will-O-Wisp, those physical type Pokemon, they're going to get wrecked there by the Will-O-Wisp. And then we got Ancient Power to boost up our stats. Make Charizard even more bulky. And if you get like a... +1 in everything with Ancient Power, it's going to make Charizard quite bulky outside of getting hit by like a rock throw, So, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I've given this one Terra Normal, so you could go into a normal type. That way you only have to worry really about fighting types hitting you super effective. So you could give the bulky Troll Charizard meme a try there. It won't let you down. So, quality set. All right, let's have a look at some... Firstly, let's go over some Pokemon that could be good with Charizard. So the number one Pokemon that would work with Charizard is Torkoal, right? So I'm not going to give too much on the Torkoal moveset, but a Drought Torkoal is going to be great. That's going to help out Charizard a lot because it's going to activate its solar power. It's going to be able to land solar beams. It's going to be able to power up its fire type moves. Great sort of Pokemon there. Also, another thing too, it actually gets Rapid Spin, so it's perfect because Charizard hates Stealth Rocks unless it's running like, heavy-duty boots. That's going to be very, very good kind of partner there for Charizard for sure. So, yep, that's probably, I'd say that'd be the number one. I mean, there's just so many Pokemon you could run if you're running a Sun team. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other Pokemon that could work with it. Like, obviously, Chlorophyll Pokemon are quite good there. There's a few of them here if you want some Grass Pokemon on your team. For sure. They can get rid of, like, rock Pokemon. You've got, like, Scovillain. That's not bad. And Lilligant. Even Leafeon's not too bad either. It's got some pretty good defense there. So these Pokemon will be able to get rid of, like, your rock threat, So they're quite good for that kind of thing. Probably not like Jumpluff, though, and Tropius, because they're still going to get hit by that. And, Scovillain's not bad either. But, yeah, you could have, like, something like Lilligant, That'd be right. Or Leafeon. Depending on, sort of what format you're playing. It's quite, it'd be quite a specific sort of stuff. But number one sort of partner there would be, the Torkoal. I don't want to go dive too deep into Sun teams because this is mostly about Charizard, but any sort of Pokemon that would be nice for a Sun team is going to work. I mean, depending on what you're playing, like, Koraidon, that's another good one as well. Whatever format you're playing, stuff like that. That's a good Pokemon too. That's going to very much help out with its ability setting that Sun up. So, yep. Some counters. Charizard is very, very easy to counter. So, it's got... Let's go on some right now. So, Clodsire, that's a good counter. So, Charizard does struggle a bit with, like, really bulky special defensive Pokemon like Clodsire. It doesn't really have anything that's going to be super effective against it. Unless you're running, like, that Terra Ground set I was talking about before. It's going to struggle a lot. And this thing can, this does learn some Rock-type moves as well. And it can just swap it in. So, that's a good counter for it. What else we got? Tyranitar. Tyranitar is a great counter because not only does it get rid of its Sun, it can take it out with basically a rock throw. And, that very, very good counter. Tyranitar is like Charizard's biggest counter. The only way that Charizard can hit Tyranitar for some good damage there is if it's got Focus Blast. So that's why a lot of the Charizards you see probably have Focus Blast because, Tyranitar comes in, boop, Focus Blast. That's going to do some very, very good damage to it. Hippowdon. Hippowdon's a very good... I want to say Hippowdon's probably better than Tyranitar because it doesn't have that 4 times weakness to fighting. And, yeah, unless Charizard's running like a Terra Blast Grass or Water or something like that, Hippowdon is going to probably be beating it every single time there. Plus, it's going to take away its weather too. So, yes, lots of counters there. Toxapex. Toxapex is another Pokemon. It's going to be able to sponge its attacks pretty good there for sure. It's just a bulky, annoying Pokemon, and, if it's got any boost up, it can sort of, like, haze them away and stuff like that. So, yes, that's going to be another Pokemon that's going to be annoying. Another one, too, is Dragonite, for sure. So, if, as I was saying before, Dragonite, especially if it's Terra Normal, Charizard is going to get, it's going to get wrecked. So, it does have Dragon Pulse, but with Multi-Scale, Dragonite can... Even a sweeping Dragonite can eat up a Charizard's Dragon Pulse and then wreck it with extreme speed, Terra Normal, or even just like a Dragon Dance a Dragon Dance, Dragon type move, or Flying type move there. So that's another counter. Like, Charizard has many counters there for sure. Rapid Spin Pokemon are good as well with Charizard. I did mention Torkoal and stuff already there. Great Tusk is good. It's a great partner for it. And yeah, we got Torkoal as well. Some other ones like Iron Treads. Psychos is not bad there either. So a couple of Pokemon there as well. If you got any other suggestions for Charizard sets and stuff, yeah, leave it below in the comment section. Let's have a look at some final thoughts on Charizard. I always like to go over all of its sets. So, firstly, status moves. As usual, most Pokemon in this gen, they're pretty scarce. So, it's funny how Charizard gets a lot of physical support, like Dragon Dance and Sword Dance. That's really good. Apart from that, it's kind of limited, you know. You got like Will-O-Wisp, we've gone over that. It even get, I don't know why it gets Sandstorm, but that's a pretty cool move. I think you can make some fun meme movesets out of that one. And it gets Sunny Day as well. So if you really want to set your own Sun up, you can do that. But apart from that, it's kind of limited. You might be able to do like an Endure Weakness policy set with Blaze, like, you know, something like that. I could see that working, whether it's physical or special. That definitely has some promise for sure. And let's have a look. It's physical. It actually gets a lot of physical moves. So we've got a lot of things. I was thinking like a focus / counter set, like trying to do some memes here. But apart from that, it does get a few physical dragon moves, but yeah, you're not really using them very much if you're using a physical one. Gets Thunder Punch. That's not bad for water types on a physical variant. Yeah, there's not really too much there for Charizard. Most people are going to be using the special set, but it does have a reasonable amount of physical moves you could use there for sure. Does it get Hone Claws? It used to get, I think it used to get Hone Claws, but it's away. We got special sets here. Now, Air Slash isn't bad for flinching. And we got Ancient Power. We've gone over that. Dragon Pulse. We've sort of covered all these moves here. Heat Wave's really good for doubles as well. So, did mention that if you're running Charizard and doubles, Heat Wave is definitely the way to go there. Now, Air Cutter. Now, Air Cutter for doubles, I know it's a bit gimmicky, but you could go something like Air Cutter and Heat Wave, like purely make the Charizard 4 doubles. Air Cutter's got a crit ratio. You see, you could do something like, this is a bit wild, but you might be able to do something like Scope Lens and Air Cutter for crits. That could be potentially good. The thing about it is, it's not exactly what you call the strongest move in the world. So you'd probably need some support with like Terra Flying or a Helping Hand Pokemon, you know, something like that. But you're probably better off using like Air Slash, or if you're using a flying type move, I guess you could use that. But there's probably better moves to use than Air Cutter. If you're getting the crits, it's okay. That'll be okay. But outside of that, it is kind of gimmicky, you know. Okay. If the Mega Charizard and stuff do come back into the game, I'll do the Mega Guides and stuff too. But until they come back in the game, I'm probably not going to touch on those ones. I just thought I'd mention that, you know, in case anyone asks. We got Solar Beam. We've gone over that. Inferno. The accuracy, the base power, that's nice, but it's just kind of like, it's kind of bad in accuracy. And yeah, there's not too much else here. We've sort of gone over all these moves here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's going to wrap up the Charizard set today. To finalize things, Charizard is a very nice special Sun Sweeper. It definitely has its weaknesses for sure there, but it can be a very good mid to late game sweeper and very nice in the sun, hitting very hard and good speed and good special attack. And you know, you've got heavy duty boots there to get around any of those obvious stealth rocks and things like that. Hope you enjoyed this, people. I'll be back a little bit later on. I've got another guide coming off there. It's another flying Pokemon, and it might be a bird as well. Wonder if you can guess. See you later, people.